to discuss the miracles of the King Jesus of Nazareth.
Good morning, DayBreak. My name is Wagenvoort, and I am the Interim Children's Ministry Coordinator here for the last and final time. My tenure is finally over, which means that next week you can expect to see a video from our very own Jen, or whatever she's planning to do for the future of children's ministries here at DayBreak. With all that being said, let's jump right into the video, hey? And right into our lesson. Now, today's lesson takes place in a couple of different passages. So, off the top, let's start Matthew 14, verses 31 to 21, Mark 6, verses 30 to 44, and John chapter 6, verses 1 to 14. And it's all about the miracle of Jesus providing bread from heaven. Now, Jesus' disciples had been working hard. They had been healing people and teaching them. So many people came and went that the disciples didn't even have time to eat. And a whole day had passed, so it was getting to about dinner time, when Jesus said to them, "Come with me, let's go to a quiet place where we can be alone and get some rest." Jesus and his disciples got into a boat to cross the Sea of Galilee. But many people saw them leaving. And these people, perhaps traveling by foot, ran ahead of Jesus and his disciples. So, when Jesus and his disciples got to the shore, there was a massive group of people already waiting there for them when they arrived. Jesus looked out and saw this crowd, and he cared about them because they were like sheep in need of a shepherd. And Jesus was that shepherd. So Jesus taught the people many things about God's kingdom, and he healed the people who were sick. By this time, it was late in the day, and Jesus' disciples came to him and said, "We are out in the middle of nowhere, and it's getting way later than it was before. Tell the people to go away, and so they can go back to their farms and villages to buy themselves something to eat." But Jesus said, "They don't need to go anywhere. You give them something to eat." And Jesus' disciples were super confused. "We can't feed this many people," they said. "It would cost a whole year's pay to buy enough bread for all these people to eat." And you have to imagine the shore must have been filled with all these people. And there's no telling how much food the disciples had for just themselves and Jesus. Jesus asked them, "How many loaves of bread do we have? Go look." And the disciple Andrew said, "A boy here has 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. But what good is that going to do with so many people?" Jesus told the disciples to instruct everyone to sit down. So all the people sat down in a big group in the grass. And Jesus took the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven, and then he blessed the bread. He broke it into pieces and gave it to the disciples. He also divided up the fish, and the disciples passed out the food to the people, and everyone ate until they were full. Then Jesus told the disciples to collect any leftover food from the meal. And the disciples collected 12 baskets full of pieces of bread and fish. And Jesus had somehow fed 5,000 men that day. And who knows how many women and children? Probably a lot more. By feeding the 5,000, Jesus provided for the physical need of this crowd. And the next day, Jesus would call himself the bread of life, from John 6, verse 35. Only Jesus is able to satisfy our souls forever by providing forgiveness for us, and friendship with God, and eternal life. Thank you so much for being with me during this whole interesting season. I hope you genuinely enjoyed all the videos that we've made. I know that we kind of started off really slow and kind of worked our way back. But I hope you learned something, and I hope you had fun. And all the best to all of you in the future. And from me to you, happy Sunday. Stay tuned for 10:30. And yeah, God bless.